What's going on, fish keepers? George from South Florida African Cichlids here, and happy Fry Friday, everyone. As you can see, these guys have absorbed most of their egg sac, and we're getting ready to move them to a different tank. Today I'm going to bring you along and show you the process that I go through while doing this, as well as how to make the 10-gallon that I'm putting them in safe for them. The 10-gallon does have an aqua clear filter, and we don't want the fry getting sucked up by it. So I'm going to show you a very cost effective and cheap way to do it, and it works out perfectly. So stay tuned. These are the Cynotilapia Cobue fry, and we're going to take a look at the 10-gallon that these guys will be going in. So here you can see the 10-gallon. Currently in this tank we have the Sulfurhead batch. As you can see, we have a couple nice OBs. This OB right here is actually a Sulfurhead OB. All these guys are and girls are between 2.5 to not nearly 3 inches, but 2.5 to 2 3/4 inches. They are about 7 to 8 months old, but again, they're in a 10-gallon, so they haven't really grown much. But that's going to change very soon, because I'm going to move these into the 40-gallon that I have in my house, and then the small fry are going to come in here, and they're going to have plenty of room. The plan is for the small fry not to get sucked up by the intake of that aqua clear, so I'm going to show you how I do it. Besides that, we do have a little sponge filter in here. Now this tank could be run on that sponge filter probably alone, but we like the aqua clear, extra clean water. There was a decent amount of fish in there, so this is what you're going to need to move these fish effectively. A pair of scissors. I like pinky filter. Any type of filter material will work. A rubber band, and the turkey baster is, you don't need that right now, but we did have a female that was holding two, so we stripped her, and that's going to be a video in the future where I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm just showing you a little example here of how we did it, and Amanda's going to do the rest. To make it as simple as possible, I would really recommend removing the intake. When you do this, it's really tough to do it on the water, especially since the glass is so close there on the back. So you pretty much just want to make sure that the whole intake where the holes are covered, then wrap the rubber band around a couple times, and there you go. You want to trim the excess off, as we're going to do here in a second. But besides that, now you pretty much have something that's not going to allow the fry to go in there. And we did make a mistake when we did this. We put the pink side on the outside, and if you guys have used pinky filter, you know the pink side is the finer side. So you want your filtration, you always want the particles to get sucked up by the coarser ones before the finer ones, because the finer side tends to clog a bit. But no worries, I show a little video here of us flipping it as well. But that's pretty much all you need. And let's go and get this back in the water and see how it looks. Obviously it's not the most attractive thing, but most of our fish tanks, except for the 120-gallon, which is the show tank, they're made to be, you know, the most cost effective. We don't really want to spend too much money on tanks that people aren't going to be seeing. These tanks are in our rooms and different places, but not anywhere like the 120 is that's in the living room. So there you can see what it looks like. Now, not only will this help with the fry not getting sucked up, but it's also going to help as extra filtration. Having a sponge or any type of filter material on the intake of your filter prevents any of the media in there from getting like really dirty, and it could, you know, it can make it so that instead of cleaning your baskets every 1 or 2 weeks, you could go 3 or 4 weeks. So as far as that, you know, I think it's a great idea, if you guys haven't checked it out already, to be doing this on your hang on back filters, if it doesn't cause too much of an aesthetic, if it's not too aesthetically unpleasing for you. But it's a great idea. You would pretty much have to remove this, I don't know, every 2 weeks, clean it out or just change it. But yeah, here you can see we switched it around because we noticed that we had put the wrong side out, and put it back in, and it's good to go. So the next step and what I wanted to talk about is transporting fish. This bubble box has saved my fish a couple different times, and I really recommend you get some. They're like $7 to $8 on Amazon. I'll leave a link to them in the description. Actually, when we went through Hurricane Irma, we ran all our tanks. Obviously, we have sponge filters in all our tanks, which I think was one of the most crucial parts of our fish staying alive. But we had these on every one of our tanks, and we had plenty of D batteries, and they all survived just fine. So for transporting your fish, since these fish were going from one house to another one, I highly recommend you get that bubble box and some water in a bucket. Sometimes you might want to cover the bucket to make sure the fish don't jump out as well. So here we're removing the egg tumbler. I did a review on this one, the Tinksky egg tumbler. It's worked out great. And I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. But you can see we want to be very gentle. We had a little problem here, which was that the eggs, the actual fish, decided to swim all the way to the top, and when she took them out, there was I think one or two that were kind of like stuck up there, but I helped her out. We put my finger and we got them out. She was counting them there. We have 11, I think this first batch gave us. And here you could see us introducing them to the new water. Something important to note is that we don't treat our water with anything besides the chlorinator. So all our water throughout our houses is exactly the same. With fry being so small, they're very delicate. So if there's any change in your water parameters, it could shock them and sometimes kill them. So keep that in mind. If your water might be a little different in another tank because you add buffers and debuffers or different things, just make sure you acclimate them first. So we're kind of just letting them swim out of here on their own. And this is a final view of what the tank looks like right after putting them in. As you can see, they're very, very tiny. But this was actually shot like a week ago, and now they're much bigger. They've probably doubled in size, and they're doing great. Right here you can't really see them swimming too much, but hey, it is what it is. So last but not least, let's take a look at the new home for the guys that were in the 10-gallon, the Sulfurhead Hybrids. As you can see, they're in the 40-gallon now. They have a lot of room. The male's really getting bigger and coloring up. He's already breeding in here too. We have 2 sponge filters set up. I have a 200-watt heater in there, a couple rocks, and this fake plant that looks great. The lighting that we're using right now to film this video is the Aquaneat fixture that I did a video on as well, and they look really great on this light. So that pretty much sums it up for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and you got to check out the fry again. A lot of cool things coming in the future. But if you did like the video, please leave it a thumbs up. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.